Hello, welcome to the Law of Attraction Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Keith, and today we are going to dive into some prompts, some journal prompts for the new year. So, if you can, go ahead and get a journal, a pen, piece of paper, open up the notes on your phone, although I do think there is something to putting pen to paper. And if you're driving or in a place where you can't do this right now, you can just listen, think about these prompts in your mind, and you can save this episode, come back to it when you want to write them down. All right. So, first of all, it is the week of New Year's, and I have today's episode to really get you visualizing the year that you want to call in on New Year's. So I love doing this. I feel like the week between Christmas and New Year's, the whole world seems to kind of slow down. A lot of people have off work, or if you are working, it's just kind of slow and easy. And it's a great time to just kind of refresh and let go of the last year, think about what you want, gain some clarity, and set intentions for the new year. And I love planning it this year and then on New Year's Eve, like really visualizing it or taking everything that you're writing down and putting it on a vision board. I love using Pinterest for that. And they have this feature now. It's called collages, and you can just grab any picture, quote, word, and you can chop it, trim it, add color to it. You can type out like your individual goals. And I like making a vision board with that on Pinterest. And then I take that collage and I save the photo as the wallpaper on my phone so that my subconscious is like seeing my vision board. So that's just a little tip to start with. But today I want to go over these journal prompts. And on Thursday, so on the 1st, I am going to be posting the 5-day quantum manifestation boot camp right here on the podcast. So if you've already signed up for the boot camp, you're going to get an email each day that will have the video and some extra stuff. So if you want to sign up for that, it's totally free to sign up. But if you want the video, you can just go to thelawofattractiontribe.com. It's right there on the front page. If you sign up, I'll send you an email reminder with the video. I'm going to post the audio on the podcast. You can also sign up for the VIP, which is you're just getting like the tools and resources that come with it. So there's a really good guided visualization, a subliminal, a detachment meditation. So just kind of accompanies the things that we talk about. And that's just $11. So you can get all of that or sign up for free if you go to thelawofattractiontribe.com. But I will post the audios here starting on Thursday. So you'll have 5 days where you'll get to hear the boot camp because I just really feel like it's information that everyone should know. It's where I take a little bit of what we learn inside Quantum Catalyst and I'm putting it in this boot camp so that number one, you can start to see all of the science behind manifesting and behind creating your reality. And there's a lot more science and research and evidence than you might realize. And I think that really helps with our belief that it's possible. I've had people reach out and just say how they were skeptical, or someone had her husband listen to it who was super skeptical, but hearing the science behind it, like got him on board with setting goals and manifesting. So I just think it's a really good foundation that everyone should have. And the other part of it is it gives you a sneak peek of the kind of thing that we do inside Quantum Catalyst. So if you are interested or you're like, oh, I wonder what that's about, this will give you a really good idea of kind of where we're headed. And we go deep, like we go really, really, really into the science behind it all. So anyhow, that is coming to you on Thursday. So you have a lot of fun to start the new year with. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and grab your notebook or just listen along. Um, I want you to keep in mind that this isn't like mandatory for manifesting. Okay, you don't have to do all these journal prompts. You don't have to do them in any specific order. You don't have to do them at all in order to manifest a really good year. The point of it is to help you get clear so that you can set intentions and you can manifest intentionally based on what you want. Because the problem is when we don't get clear and we don't set intentions, we manifest on default. We're manifesting as a reaction to things in our external environment. And that's why you might be living a life that you don't absolutely love. There might be things that you're like, I didn't want this, but you were manifesting off of default based on your external environment instead of getting clear on what you want and setting those intentions. And that's what this helps you do. And I really love doing this at the beginning of the year. And I think having fun with it, like for me, it's very fun, it's very energizing, it's very exciting to think about the year ahead and just be open to possibility. So have that fun, playful energy. Try not to overthink this or be too serious about it because I think that just kind of it's pointless to do it if you're going to be like stressed out about it. So only do this if it feels good to you. Okay, so we're just going to dive in and I'll go through each of these and you can come back to it if you need to hear it again. So, number one, if nothing in my life changed this year, what would quietly become unbearable? Okay, so not trying to be like dramatic or anything, but just be honest with yourself. Where in your life do you feel like you're settling? Because wherever you're settling and you're not listening to your intuition, it's just going to keep getting louder and louder if you don't listen to it. And that's what I mean by becoming unbearable. So if at this time next year, nothing changed at all in your life, what would you be like screaming about in your mind that you wish would change? And then just a little tip as you're going through this. We love overthinking things. Our logical mind wants to get in the way and like analyze everything and think of everything in a very practical sense. I don't want you to do this. Whatever comes to your mind first, immediately, just write it down. Try not to think about it. Try not to analyze it. You can go back over this later and analyze it, but we want to tap in to your intuition, more the right side of the brain. And so typically, whatever comes through first, before you've had time to really think about it or analyze it, is what's on your subconscious mind, what your intuition is trying to tell you. So try to just write it down quickly. Don't overthink it. Okay, question number two. What part of my life am I managing instead of truly living? So I'll give you an example. For me, like just in motherhood and being a mom, I feel like I'm always so busy making sure that everyone is like safe and fed and okay that I don't really allow myself to just relax and enjoy the moment. Like I'm always behind the scenes, like running around like crazy. Or if we're doing something fun, like over the holidays, I'm sitting there trying to get the perfect picture of it so that we have a memory of it instead of actually experiencing it myself. So that would be a part of my life where I'm managing instead of truly living. Okay. Number three, what desire keeps resurfacing no matter how many times I ignore it? What desire keeps resurfacing no matter how many times I ignore it? So, you've probably heard the phrase, what's meant for you will not pass you. And I do believe that in the sense that if there's something that you truly want, like deep down, you truly want it, it's going to keep coming up. Like opportunities will come up, thoughts will come up. One way or another, it's going to keep crossing your path. But it's up to you to seize the opportunity. So, what is that? What's that one desire that keeps resurfacing no matter how many times you ignore it? Okay. Number four, I'm going kind of quickly again on purpose. I want you to write down the first thing that comes up and do not overanalyze this. You can go back and overanalyze it later if you want to. Okay, so number four, who am I when I'm not trying to be productive, impressive, or on? Who am I when I'm not trying to be productive, impressive, or on? So this is the real you. I had an episode a while back where we were talking about all the different masks that we wear at work, around friends, where we feel like we have to take on a certain identity to fit in. So when you're by yourself and there's no one to impress, there's no reason to put on one of those masks. What is the real you, the real authentic you like? Who are you underneath all those layers and all those masks? Okay. And then number five, what version of me is trying to emerge? And what am I doing to keep her small? What version of me is trying to emerge? And what am I doing to keep her small? So, where are you unconsciously self sabotaging yourself? Where are you not allowing yourself to truly be you, to truly step into your authenticity? Okay, then number six, where am I outsourcing my power to circumstances, people, or timing? Where am I outsourcing my power to circumstances, people, or timing? So often when I'm working with a client, they'll tell me their big, bold goal, right? We'll get to the bottom of what they want. We'll get clarity around that. But then there's always a but the timing isn't right. The kids aren't in school yet, or, my husband's not going to be on board, or, there's some external thing that they are allowing to stop them from stepping into the version of their life they really want. What is that thing for you? Where are you outsourcing your power, giving up on your dream according to something external? It could be a boss, a job, your spouse, your parents, friends, just the timing of life, the season of life you're in. And along with this, it's like, are you living someone else's dream or living according to someone else's agenda? So when you wake up in the morning, are you thinking about what you truly want for the day and for your life? Or are you immediately on your kids' agenda, getting them to school, and then your boss's agenda for work, and you're never really truly looking at yourself and what you want and living for you? So what's getting in the way of that? Okay, number seven. What belief has been running my life that I never consciously chose? What belief has been running my life that I never consciously chose? So, as I've talked about before on the podcast, there's so many beliefs, like the majority of beliefs that are holding you back were never yours to begin with. It was a belief that someone else placed on you, whether that was parents or teachers or just society in general. That was placed on you as a child in your young subconscious mind, and now it's holding you back. So, an example for me is belief around money that like the money's going to run out. And I have no reason to believe that. Haven't been in a situation where the money's run out or continues to run out or anything like that. But that belief was something I heard a lot through my dad. And yet I just blindly accepted it as a child, as we do. And subconsciously, that has kept me in a position of like hoarding money, constantly worrying there's not going to be enough or that what I do have will go away and never come back. So that was never my belief to begin with. I didn't consciously choose that. That was placed on me in childhood. And it has really made a difference in my life as an adult, just with like being afraid of spending money. So what is that belief? What's a big one for you that's been running your life that you never consciously chose? Okay, number 8. If I trusted myself completely, what decision would I already have made? If I trusted myself completely, what decision would I already have made? So, right now, immediately, whatever comes to mind, there's something there. Don't push it away. Write it down. Give it space on the page. You can burn the page when you're done, rip it, throw it in the garbage, put on paper the thing, the decision that deep down you know you would have already made, but you're not trusting the outcome. What is that thing? Write it down. Okay, number 9. What am I pretending is fine because I don't want to disrupt anyone else? What am I pretending is fine because I don't want to disrupt anyone else? So, people pleasing. Where are you people pleasing? And you're hurting yourself because you're worried that it might inconvenience someone else or make someone else upset or mad or whatever. Along with this, while you're writing it down, there's that trend on Reels where it's like, oh, I heard of a certain theory, right? And they'll explain it in the comments. So this one was like, I heard about the invisible guest theory and it changed me forever. And it was basically saying how, like, when you go to an event, a party, any social event, and you're so worried, you're worried about, do I look okay? Am I going to say the right thing? What do people think of me? Is my hair okay? Like all these things that we worry about, when at the end of the day, no one is thinking about those things because they're all worried about themselves. So everyone's worried about themselves. No one's worrying about each other. And we spend all this time worrying when no one's really thinking about anything other than themselves. And it's true in like every context of life. And so, where are you playing small, pretending everything's fine because you're so worried about everyone else? Okay, number 10. What does my nervous system need more of this year? Is it rest? You need more safety, more support, more expression, more freedom. What does your nervous system need? And I'll give you a big hint. Your nervous system, we're in a society where we're pretty much all in a state of fight or flight all the time. We're all kind of under this stress and anxiety. It's kind of the way the world is set up. And our nervous system really wasn't set up for that. And so when your nervous system is out of whack, it can really mess with what you're trying to manifest because it's messing with your overall energetic vibration. So what is if your nervous system could speak to you and tell you what it needs, what would it say? Would it say, I need more rest? Like, I need to feel safe. I need to slow down. I need more freedom. Like, what would that sound like? Number 11, where am I over efforting instead of allowing? Where am I over efforting instead of allowing? So, what feels hard or forced instead of easy and fun? What are you forcing? What feels really hard? What do you dread doing? Okay, number 12, what emotion do I avoid feeling and what might it be trying to tell me? What emotion do I avoid feeling and what is it trying to tell me? So I talk about this in Quantum Catalyst. Emotions are just simply data, they're feedback trying to tell you something. So if you're angry or you're sad, that is feedback that something is out of alignment. Something's wrong. Okay? It's not the crying itself or the sadness itself. It's what is causing that. It's trying to tell you something. So, is there an emotion that you have been avoiding? And if that emotion could speak to you, what would it be telling you? Because it's not the emotion that you're avoiding, it's the thing behind the feeling, the emotion that you're avoiding. What is that thing? Okay, number 13. What am I ready to stop proving? What am I ready to stop proving? So, this goes back to what I was saying earlier how we tend to manifest on default based on external things. And so we're manifesting based on what other people want, other people's visions that have just been placed on us most of the time subconsciously. And we're not really doing what like we want to do. It's more proving something to the world, to a certain person. What is that? What are you ready to stop proving? Because inherently, like you don't owe anyone any explanation, anything in order to be happy and whole and live a good life. But there's probably something you're doing just because you feel like you have to prove yourself. Okay, two more to go. Number 14. What would it look like to live this year from alignment instead of obligation? What would it look like to live this year from alignment instead of obligation? So, if no one would judge you, no one would get mad at you, you didn't have to worry about what anyone else thinks, what would you do this year? What would truly feel good for you? Not according to anyone else, what you truly want that would feel like you're living in alignment, you're living your best life, you're fulfilling your purpose, you're following your intuition. What would that look like this year? And I'm just going to give a couple extra minutes because I know that's a loaded question. There's a lot probably to unpack there. And that's one, number 14. I would I would definitely recommend coming back to that because what you can do with that is script out your whole year or even just a day in the life of the version of you that's living in alignment. What does that look like from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed? What does that feel like? How do you show up differently? If you're not worried about obligation and you're truly living for you, you can really go deep on that one. Okay, last journal prompt. At the end of this year, what do I want to be able to say I finally chose? At the end of this year, what do I want to be able to say that I finally chose? So picture yourself and it's New Year's Eve. You're in the end of 2026. What do you want to be celebrating and thinking, this is the year I did that? This is the year it finally happened. What is that thing? Something fun to do is you can write that question down and then put it away and pull it out on New Year's Eve next year and just see like how fun would that be to like see, did you do the thing? How far did you come? Did you try it? Like it's crazy. And we think we have so much time, but the year always flies by. So that is something that could be good. Like put it away, pull it out on New Year's Eve. And again, you can come back to these and go further in depth with them. Share them with a friend. Like if maybe share them with your spouse or with a business partner or an accountability partner or just your best friend so that you guys can both have a clear vision. What I have found in my life is when I get other people on board with my goals, it's crazy. Now, here, let me say this differently, okay? Because you might get confused here. I don't mean I'm going to tell my goals to like other people. Don't do that because there's a lot of people who are going to place doubt based on their limiting beliefs and get inside your head. What I mean is there someone in your life that you're very close with that you share your life with? Again, it could be your spouse, it could be your best friend, it could be your mom, it could be your sister, it could be a business partner, but someone that like has a stake in it, right? Like that they want to see you succeed and they will succeed alongside you. So, like my husband and I, if we make a goal, a lot of times it's a specific amount we want to see in our savings account or like in our investment account or something we want to pay off. If we both focus on that, it just seems to happen so fast and it feels so easy because it's like it's not all on me. Like someone else is doing this with me. And there's just something that happens, I think, subconsciously within our mindset that it all of a sudden feels possible and we're able to overcome all the fear and uncertainty around it. So if you have someone like that, have them do this with you. Send this episode to them, or anyone that just needs a little boost at the beginning of the year and needs some clarity and to set some intentions. Now, these were 15 journal prompts. I have a full book of 100 prompts, literally 100 prompts that I like to do at the beginning of the year. And it just goes really in depth. And it's not just what you want to manifest, it's what you want to let go of, what you want to release, like the mindset shifts, the habits, all of that kind of stuff. It has some planning pages and things like that. So if you want that, I'll link that in the show notes. And yeah, do these journal prompts, come back to them, and then on New Year's, you can do the free manifestation boot camp that'll be right here on the podcast. And I just think that from a mindset perspective, but also an energetic perspective, you're going to feel so invigorated and so ready for the new year and excited about what's to come. And it's why I like it. Like, I just love it. I feel like the energy is so potent this time of year for doing this kind of thing. So I want to leave you with 5 quotes. I posted these on Instagram. These are things that I heard that just stuck with me. And I feel like it's like those life-changing quotes. You know, it really just kind of gets you to think about everything. So I'm going to share these with you. The first one is sometimes when you're in a dark place, you think you've been buried, but actually you've been planted. So we all have moments. Every single person has highs and lows. We have low points in our life that feel so hard. And it's like, why is this happening to me? And it's very easy to get derailed, to go into victim mode, to think, this isn't fair. Why is everything happening? Why is nothing good happening to me? And to get really angry and everything else. But what I've seen, and if you look back at your life, you'll probably see the same thing, is in those low points, a lot of times something had to fall apart so that something new could come together. So, for example, maybe a relationship ended and it was, you were so depressed and so sad about it. But now looking back, you're like, thank God that relationship ended. Like, that would have been terrible if I stayed in that relationship, right? But at the time, it was horrible. It was like a really bad, dark time. But you weren't buried, you were planting something new. You were like setting yourself on a new path with that. So it's just something to think about when you're going through something difficult. Maybe you got fired from your job, but little do you know, there is going to be a way better job or a greater opportunity that comes that you never would have noticed if you were still in this job. So things like that. Okay, the second is no one has ever changed the world by doing what the world told them to do. This is so true. We all get kind of the same blueprint that we're supposed to follow, but you'll notice all of the people who are like really changing the world, the big inventors and just people that are making the biggest impact, they don't follow that blueprint. They do something completely different. They go off the beaten path. And a lot of times it's not easy. They have a rough time. People don't agree with them. People think they're crazy. And as they're going through that path, they don't know. They don't know that they're going to end up being successful, but they chose to do something different. And so the people that are going to change the world can't just keep doing the same thing that the world is doing. Okay. Like Einstein says, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. That's the definition of insanity. Yeah, we all do it. So do something different. Don't do what the world is telling you to do. Do what you're feeling called to do, that your intuition has been screaming at you. What are those nudges you've been getting? Okay, the next one. Fear doesn't stop death, it stops life. You can worry all day long. It is not going to change the outcome, but it is going to destroy the present moment and like living now. If you're constantly worried about what's to come or what, what could go wrong, you are not being present and enjoying the moment. So it's killing your life by worrying about it. So don't worry about what you can't control. It's not going to change the outcome. Okay, if you can overthink the worst, you can overthink the best. This we all do. We are like so conditioned to think of the worst case scenario, which by the way, is always worse in our minds than it actually is in reality. And we will focus on that. Like, what are we going to lose? But we don't focus like, well, what if everything does work out? What's the best case scenario? What if I do manifest my dreams? What if I do follow my heart and like everything works out and I'm happy and I feel fulfilled? We don't think about that part, but we can. You can overthink that part just as much as you can overthink the worst. So you might as well focus on the best because again, worrying about it isn't going to change it. Okay, last one. Hurry kills patience. Worry kills peace. ego kills love. And then you read it backwards. So patience kills hurry, peace kills worry, and love kills ego. So focusing more on patience, more on peace, and more on love. And I think those are great goals for the year ahead to just keep in the back of your mind. So hopefully this gave you a little head start on clarity for the new year on what you want to call in. Again, I think you can go so much deeper if you want to. So I'll link that workbook in the show notes. And I hope that everyone comes back on Thursday for day one of the Quantum Manifestation Bootcamp. All right. So I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. And I'll see you in the next episode.